Hello, hi, Alright guy, and this video will also be a little different, but I just wanted to pose one question. For anyone that's watched Yu-Gi-Oh, how does, new card creation work? And what I mean by that is, multiple instances in Yu-Gi-Oh, you see the main character, create a new card. For example, let's say when Yuya created Runai's Pendulum Dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh Arc 5. And I've always wondered, how does that even work? Because, logically speaking, if you created just a new card out of nowhere, how does the dual disc even recognize it? And even beyond just that, how does that even work? How do you just create a new card? Now, there's some explanations for it in different series, and I can give a somewhat reasonable explanation for pretty much every card creation, but I've always just wondered, just how that even works. Now, I wanted to get some examples, and we're just gonna go ahead and do the first one, which is Yuya and Arc V creating Runai's Beast Eyes and Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Now, in Yuya's case, he all spoilers. Yuya is a part of Zark, and Zark obviously has just straight up powers. So I can see Zark using some of his power to help Yuya create these new cards that help him win a duel. Because as it was revealed later in the series, Zark is actually the true creator of Pendulum summoning, not Yuya. So with that in mind, I can see Zark just having used his power to help Yuya create, for example, Runai's Pendulum Dragon. But even then, when Yuya was dueling the Prophecy Girl, why was he not somewhat surprised that he had a vision of this card and then somehow knew its summoning requirements and then summons it? That's another thing. How do they know the summoning requirements for a non-existent card before it exists? Do they just have a feeling? That's what I've always thought. They just had a feeling, a gut instinct, and they went with it, and then it just popped out a whole new card for your deck. It's crazy. Another example of this, probably the best example, is Yuma and Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, probably the most infamous for doing this with his shining draws. We know the power of Zexal, and it has been explained, so there is that. But like I said earlier, how does the dual disc even recognize these literally new cards that come out of nowhere? And beyond that, shining draw is just a crazy power to just create the perfect card that you need for the situation. Not even drawing the card that you had in your deck. No, it literally creates it. That's just insane in my opinion. But I love it all the same. We know how it works, but I just wonder how how they do it. Now, I guess the question in of itself is already answered, but just generally speaking, ranting, a lot of pretty much every protagonist in Yu-Gi-Oh has an instance where they created a new card out of nowhere. Yugi's done. For example, Yugi combined all three Egyptian god cards to summon Horikfi at the end. So he's literally, but that was less of a card and more of an entity, if you want to think about it that way. Beyond that, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Jaden created Neos Wise Man from Yubel and Neos. So, he literally created a new card. So, but fusion summonings have always been shown to create new cards, so I guess that's one thing. And then you say, I don't, shooting Star Dragon, but that's also was explained. I don't need to go through every one, but I just think overall the process of creating new cards always has me wondering where these cards actually come from. And just generally thinking about how does the dual disk even begin to quantify, not quantify, but how does the dual disk recognize that this new card that came out of nowhere, so it technically would not be registered in their systems, but it was able to pick up that a new card was exist. I don't know, but that's pretty much all I have to speak on the matter. If you have some explanations in the comments, let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, that's basically all I want to say.